It's a letter that was published by something called the Future of Life Institute. It's a nonprofit organization based in Massachusetts that wants to steer transformative technology toward benefiting life and away from extreme large-scale risk. As you mentioned, several high-profile names signing that open letter: Elon Musk, the CEO of Twitter; Steve Wozniak, one of the co-founders of Apple; Andrew Yang, one of the candidates for the presidential election in the United States back in 2020, and also, more importantly, researchers and professors, some of which who also work in the artificial intelligence industry. Now, they're warning about some very specific risks. They're saying that AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose significant risks to society and should be planned for and managed with commensurate care. And unfortunately, this level of planning and management is not happening. Now, something that is even more worrying, they are saying that this might lead to a loss of control of civilization. That is why they're calling for an unprecedented call of action. They're calling on these companies that are developing AI tools to stop the development of these tools for 6 months of their own volition. And more surprisingly, they are also calling on governments to impose this 6-month moratorium if these companies do not go on that 6-month break or refuse to do so. Now, they're very concerned about certain very specific things like machines flooding information channels, or the automation of jobs, or the development of non-human minds that could ultimately become more intelligent than us and then ultimately overtake us. And as I mentioned, also that loss of control over civilization. They are saying that such decisions should not be delegated to unelected tech leaders.
This sounds like it has the makings of a Hollywood sci-fi horror movie, doesn't it? But what we're dealing with is something that's actually a reality. These fears, then, are fed by recent advances in AI technology.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it yourself. The OpenAI company that released its fourth edition of its chat GPT model called GPT-4. It's the fourth installment. It's been online for just 2 weeks now, only available to subscribers who pay, I think it's a $20 fee a month. But the developments that have been published by, or that have been made public by the GPT-4 are pretty astonishing. It's the first time that we've got an AI system that is also multimodal, which means that it's able to analyze both text and images. And so far, the results have been pretty incredible. We've seen a really a huge increase in factually correct responses when it comes to just asking questions. They've given the chat bot exams to take, exams like SATs or bar exams, and it has passed it with flying colors, 80 to 90% success rate. It's able to code websites based on just one sentence, analyze a picture, and tell you why something is funny. And so, as you mentioned, for the past few weeks and months, we've seen this development race between companies. Microsoft, which integrated ChatGPT to its Bing search engine. We've got Google that just a few days ago announced that it was releasing its own AI system called Bard. And so that is what has worried the people who have signed this open letter. Now, right now, OpenAI has done a pretty good job of having limits and guardrails. So, for example, I can sign on to ChatGPT. If I ask the robot, how to murder my neighbor and bury its body, it's not going to give me an answer. But the people who are signing this letter are worried that about the development in the next few months and years. What happens if a less scrupulous company is able to develop its own AI system and does not include those guardrails or limits? We could have a situation where people could just sign on and ask a robot how to build a bomb or how to spread false information, for example, to sway an election in a country. So right now, what is worrying some experts is that OpenAI, the company that develops ChatGPT, has been very secretive. They've published a recent report on GPT-4, and they themselves have acknowledged that they are not including any technical details because they do not want any of their details to go into the hands of competitors, and that is something that is very worrying to the people who are rooting for more transparency in the sector.